Hello again, it's Mr. Tom here with another video for you. This week we are going to learn a little bit about wings and flight, and I'm going to show you how you can make your own. It's a nice day outside, as you can see, really peaceful. A little bit of a breeze in the air, which is actually just perfect for this activity. So we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you how to make your wings. Okay, here I am back inside. Now, before we dive into making our wings, I wanted to show you some results from last week's experiment that I did. If you followed along with that and you remember the video, what we did was we took 2 pieces of white bread, in this case these were my dinner rolls here, and we put them in 2 separate bags. One was labeled not touched, so what I did was I used tongs to put this inside the Ziploc bag. It was not touched by my dirty fingers. This one, touched, that means I did touch it. So I just placed this in the bag with my dirty hands. And also, if you remember, towards the end there, I went ahead and told you that I tried this out with wheat bread too. So again, not touched and touched, but I wanted to compare between wheat bread and white bread to see if there's a difference. So just real quick, I wanted to show you the results. So for the not touched white dinner roll here, if you can see, now I've been checking this for a week now, and I have not seen any mold growth on it. I still would not want to eat it. In fact, I did open it briefly, had a smell. Didn't smell very good, so I would definitely not eat it. This is the one that was touched. Now again, I don't see any mold growth on it yet. Now, here's where it starts to get a little more interesting. So this is the wheat bread. This is not touched. So this was put in here with tongs, not exposed to my dirty hands. Don't see any mold growth on it yet. This one was touched with my hands when I put it in the bag. Now, you see those white splotches there? You're starting up. So that is mold. This is just starting to mold. And remember, this is the one that was touched with my hands. The other one was not touched. So I'm just starting to get some results with this one. Now, if you let this go, let's see, this was about 7 days ago that I did this. Remember, I sprayed some water in there, put it in the bag, and I set it on a shelf. If you let this go a little bit longer, of course, you will notice more mold, and then it'll start to turn that kind of greenish and even darker color, at which point you might want to go ahead and throw it away. So anyway, wanted to show you those results. By the way, if you did not see last week's video or you haven't tried this experiment yet, we do have the lesson guide for this one on our website. Visit themap.org. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't. All right, now let's dive into wing making. All right, well, let's get started making our wings. Real quick, what I went ahead and did was I cut out my wing shape that I wanted, and I used that one wing as a template to draw out the other piece and cut that out, so that way my wings can be the same size. Let me show you a couple different examples. So, I'm sure you've all seen insects before. This is my favorite insect. This is called a dragonfly. So I study insects. I think they're really cool. Now look at the wings. You see, you can kind of see lines up on the top and through the middle. Those are called veins. They look kind of like veins in a leaf or veins in your arm, if you've ever looked closely at your arms. Dragonflies have very strong wings. So that's why they can just, almost seems like they're darting and cutting right through the air. They have very strong, sturdy wings. Compare that to a butterfly. I'm sure you've seen monarch butterflies before. See that? See how their wings are shaped? Their wings are very delicate. If you've ever had a butterfly land on your finger, or you just looked at their wings up close, you see they're very delicate, very light. So you see when they fly, they don't really dart through the air. They almost, flutter a little bit. And they would have a little bit of trouble flying if it's too windy. But dragonflies don't really have that kind of problem because their wings are so strong. And because I study insects and because dragonflies are my favorite, I went ahead and made a dragonfly wing design. Right. So because I think the lighting is shining a little better on this top one here, I'm going to just go ahead and get started with this one. Now, this is acrylic paint right here. So it is washable. Just, when you're done with it, use soapy water. Parents, of course, you might want to help out with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little bit into this plate here, while trying to keep the lid open. Right, like that. And you don't even really need that much. I've used this kind of paint before. What's nice about it is when you paint with it, it's really bright, nice, vibrant colors. And just let's do a little more. I think that should be good. Okay. Now, the thing about acrylic paint, though, is it does dry quickly. Sometimes in as little as 10 minutes. So what you can do is take a brush. I'm just going to pick a brush that I have here. I poured out a cup of water. What you can do, take some water. Let me show it over here. All right, and then start stirring up your paint. So that way, if you want it a little more like watercolor paints, which by the way, if you have watercolor paints, you can do it with that as well. But I like using the acrylic paints for something like this. Plus, I think it's a little easier to show. Okay, and then you can use as much or as little water as you want, so you can get it kind of like the consistency you want. Okay. All right, get that on my brush there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to start right down the middle. Like that. Here, let me zoom in. There you go. Let's just get in a little closer here. Right down the middle. This is going to be like that big wing vein that I showed you on the dragonfly. Now, I picked blue. Well, cyan really. It's like a light blue color. I picked this color because blue is my favorite. You can use any color you want, any mix of colors that you want. Different kinds of brushes. I find this is something that's really relaxing to do, especially, in times like this, where we can't really go out and maybe do as many things as we used to. But there's always something you can find to do if you just look around. There's always some kind of craft you can do. You can go outside. Maybe get inspiration for art from the outdoors. Draw another vein coming up here. This kind of looks like a tree branch. Paint on there. Just keep going down. Almost there. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more going down this way. So it kind of looks like a fork or a tree. This is like the trunk of the tree, the bottom of the tree, And then this is the tree coming straight up like that, and then you got two branches coming off to the side. See, you can always find inspiration for art outdoors. You can look at trees, look at insects, you can look at leaves, all kinds of cool patterns you can see. Almost there. And by the way, so what I did with my cardboard, after I cut them out wings, if you can tell, I wrapped them with tissue paper, white tissue paper, just so it's easy for you to see. I wanted to use cardboard because it is a little windy outside, so I wanted something nice and sturdy for when I'm out there. But you can use poster board if you like. Come down here a little bit. See, this is already starting to dry. Again, if it's starting to dry too quickly for you, parents, you can go ahead and just add a little bit of water. All right. Well, so those are my big wing veins here. I think I might just draw a couple little smaller ones out with my little small brush here. Also, I've got some glitter. So just real quick, what I like to do is take a glue stick, get some glue, and I'm gonna make, oh, I don't know, maybe just, I don't know, some circle or oval shapes here. Maybe they're like eye spots. So if you've ever seen on some insects or even some bird wings, they have big dots on them. So some of these animals, when you see those big dots on their wings, they're actually trying to fool you. They're trying to scare off predators. Imagine if you were outside and you saw something that maybe looked like really big, bright eyes. It might be kind of scary. So it turns out there are some animals that kind of use that. They're not eyes, but they look like eyes on their wings. So that way, if they flash their wings, and an animal sees it, they think, oh, that might be a big scary predator. Those are some big scary looking eyes. I want to stay away from that. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a little bit of silver glitter where I put my glue. Okay. Just craft glitter here. I'm going to make some blobs right around here where I put that glue stick. Oh, there we go. Now the glitter's really starting to come out. All right. Well, I might spice this up just a little bit more. Now, I'm just going to do this one wing, and then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and do my second wing. Next time you see me, I'm going to be outside, and we'll show you how to use our wings. All right. I got my wings on here. Made one just like the other. Now, one thing I did also, if you see under there, you see a ribbon. So I cut two ribbons, 6 inches a piece. And what I did was I just duct taped them underneath the wing. So that way I can just slide my fingers right in there. You can make them bigger if you want. You can slide your whole arms in there. You can go all the way to the top. Okay, now, imagine you're a dragonfly. You're flying around. Maybe you're looking for some little flies to eat, or you're just enjoying flying. Now, when you put your wings on, imagine lifting your arms up like this, and then you run forward. You move forward. You might notice, especially if it's windy out, like it is right now, you see how it's blowing them up a little bit? It's almost like it's pushing against your arms just a little bit. Now, see what happens when you run, but you angle your arms like that. Should feel a little different. Okay? So, one thing about wings is if you angle your wings up like that, then the air that's just underneath and just in front of you is actually pushing your arms back. It's pushing those wings back. And the faster you're going, And the more angle you have it at, the more it seems to be pushing. Okay? So that's a little bit how flight works. Now, I hope you had fun here. I really had a lot of fun. Really relaxing, kind of a calming activity to do, I think. And you can have a lot of fun with it outside. So, I'll see you next week for another video.